Okay, so now I'm on the Blue Jeans app. So awesome. I'm so excited to have you on, Derek. I feel like sometimes you jump into things where you don't really know what you're getting into. And that is, I didn't realize what a big deal you were. Like I just became friends with you on Facebook because I knew you were a big agent in North Dakota. And then I was doing some more research and stuff before the interview, and I'm like, wow, this guy's kind of a big deal. And now I'm like a little bit nervous to interview you, but I'm super excited and I'm super grateful to share more about why you made the move to eXp and just a little bit about yourself and stuff. So why don't we just start off with, just a little bit about you personally, maybe, family, real estate, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, thanks for the introduction. I'm just a regular person, so regular person, that's all it is. Myself, married, with 3 kids. We got another one on the way in September. So we have 2 boys, 2 girls. We're gonna have the second girl here pretty soon. Grew up on the farm, so farm kid, I remember putting a lot of long hours in when I was younger. And just once I got done with the farm, I joined the military. Was in the military for about 8 years, I think 9 years. I was a recruiter for the military, and when I was deployed, reading books, I read a lot. I was always interested in real estate. Got into real estate, I want to say 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago in March.
Okay.
And since then, actually got into real estate by accident. Just got into real estate to buy rentals. I knew I was going to buy a few rentals, and I was like, I'll save some money on the commissions that, buying those rentals. And, just found out that it was natural. I think my first 2 months in, I sold 9 homes and realized that, geez, this is pretty fun, and just have grown since then.
So your first 2 months, you sold 9 homes?
Yep, pended
How
nine
did you
homes.
do that?
So I was on a team right away, and they had Boomtown, and there was a bunch of leads in there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna call these people, just like I was in the military, and just kept on calling people until I get a yes. And you call enough people, you'll get enough yeses to get to where you need to be.
Wow, that's awesome. So is that kind of like just from a business point, we'll kind of just touch on that. So your business, does a big part come from making calls on like expireds and for sale by owners and stuff like that right now from a team standpoint?
Yeah, I would say I think 52% of our business comes from the internet. So
Okay.
whether it's we have conversions.
Okay.
We do some Zillow, and then we also do Realtor.com and Facebook ads, stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was
52.
looking at your page. You have a huge like following. There's like what, like 4,000, 5,000 likes. I'm like, dang it, how do I do that?
I got a great marketing person. She does such a great job.
Yeah.
I don't. She does such a great job to get people following our page, and yeah, I give all credit to her. She was the one that built that, and she's really good.
That is awesome. So cool. All right, so you've only been in real estate for 5 years. Tell me about where you guys are at right now, like with your team and just production and stuff, and where you were, what you did last year.
Yeah. So last year we closed 321 transactions. I think 66.5 million, give or take. So yeah, we've been a team for 3 years, so we've been building very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Right now we have 4 buyers agents, 1 listing agent, 1 expansion agent. We have 3 ISAs, 2 transaction coordinators, a listing coordinator, and my exec and director of operations. So that's I'm at about level 6.5. So I have a lot of the things handed off, but I still have I'm still have oversight view on it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we have a team of 15 agents, and they do a great job making sure everything's rolling in the right direction.
Wow, that's awesome. So what, I don't know if you mind sharing like where you came from and let's just jump into it. Like why EXP? I mean, a producer like yourself, what did you see in the opportunity and why'd you make the move?
Yeah, so I was with Keller Williams. Keller Williams is a great company. I met a lot of great people there, great training there. I was in Diana Kokoska's mastermind and Tony DeSella's mastermind, and I learned a lot of great people there, great company. And I kept on seeing all these top performers jumping over to this company I've never heard of.
Yeah.
I've never, I mean, like we were seeing him jump, and they're like, this guy's jumping. I'm like, this guy's smart. He's doing way more volume than I am. Why is he jumping from Keller Williams to this company? And then
Yeah.
another jump, and finally it piqued my interest. So I looked into it. And when I looked into it, I'm like, it sounded too good to be true, and it just sounded too good. And then I finally, I'm a business guy. I broke down the models. I want to say I had about 20 spreadsheets filled out on everything. Yeah, like where does this go? What's the scalability? What are the potentials? And I wasn't sold until I went onto the cloud. So I went on, conversions is free. That sounded awesome. The splits are unbelievable. The stock is unbelievable. The revenue share is unbelievable, but I wasn't sold until I went onto the cloud. And when I went onto the cloud and I talked to agent onboarding, instantly, it was the best. It was honestly the best customer service I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I said, this is going to work. Like, this is perfect. Like, I mean, I went in there and I hammered them with questions for 40 minutes and they answered everything. Very nice people. She couldn't even answer something. She went over, walked her little character over to her manager and her manager came over and answered my questions for me. And I was like, yep, this is the future. How much money this company is saving, not having brick and mortar is unbelievable. So yeah, to answer your question, I just kept on seeing top performer, jump over, and it really piqued my interest, and I did a lot of research on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's similar to my story too. It was funny because like the year before I got culture award for our market center, and my history is kind of, I came from new construction. I started probably around the same time you did in 2013, worked for an awesome builder. And then I felt like I was just kind of capped and I wanted to expand into the existing market. And so I just naturally was drawn to Keller Williams for the culture. Like I loved everything that they had to offer. And I never in a million years thought that I would be leaving. I had seen so much value in how I was able to grow as a business person. I was drinking the Kool-Aid hard. Like I was all about Keller. And I went to this networking meeting, and a couple agents here from Minnesota like said, hey, we should get together for coffee. I want to talk to you about this company. I'm like, the eXp. He's like, yeah, have you heard about it? I'm like, no, but I've been watching them, and I had been watching them since 2016 at family reunion in New Orleans. And I'm like, what the heck? What, like Nicole Charles was there. She had made the move, and I'm thinking, what is this? And I just dismissed it, and I'm like, this is weird. I don't want to be an avatar, like walking around in the world. And then you just kept seeing more and more and more. And after they showed that to me, I didn't want to see it, like, because I had my guard up. I was like, I'm fine, I'm happy, I don't want to move. After I seen the business model and what the company had to offer, I was like, I can't not do this. And I had breakfast with my husband the next morning, and I'm like, I'm switching brokerages. It took me like literally 24 hours to mentally make that decision, and I just made the jump. And I'm so excited about the opportunity, where the company is going, and then the level of agents that are coming on board. I mean, I'm just a little tiny fish, like of where I'm at with my business. And we have, like what happened in California, close to, $500 million in production coming over to the company. It's like you have to see or wonder, what do these big teams and business owners see that I'm not seeing? And that's the question that I asked myself. I'm like, they're seeing something, and I seen a little bit, but I probably don't even see the whole opportunity because it's so big, and the opportunity is limitless. So yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Just think about, I mean, and I bring that up all the time because you follow any other brokerage, for them to pull 3 of the top 200 teams, and this company's we're probably 8,500 agents, give or take, for them to pull 3 of the top 200 teams in the nation, that speaks volume. And all in the last 40 years. Like I don't, people who don't understand that, like it's unbelievable. 3 of the top 200 came over in the last 45 days. And they're smarter than I am. They're smarter than us. They get it. And that's just proof. I mean, the people who are afraid, I think we've heard everything of the scare tactics and that quality of people are coming over. I mean, that speaks volume.
Yeah, I know. That's what, really started to get more of my attention. And I think, like, I had the conversation, and then, like, a couple days later, Jay Kinder and those guys came over. I'm like, all right, like, I'm gone. Like, I can't not. I would rather take the opportunity and like fail than not try at all, and just go back but I mean, I don't believe that it will. There's such a huge opportunity here. And I was just listening to a video of Jay Nelson, and he was talking about, how we as agents, every single day we're out there hustling, like trying to, take care of our clients, sell homes, find them houses, and every year it starts over, and we're the company is giving you an opportunity to have some out, like we don't retire, like agents, like there's probably a bunch of agents in your market that are like 70 years old that are still selling houses for their grandkids and their grandkids' friends and stuff, and unless you get into investments, there's not, you don't have that passive income. And with eXp, with the stock, you're just getting that just for the heck of it, like that's what the company is giving you, because they don't have this huge overhead expense of needing to pay for, staff and a big building and, all of that stuff. And they're giving it back to the agents. And the big thing is the agent ownership, which is huge. And I'm sure your team appreciates that too. So, yeah. So, I mean, like, what excites you about eXp, and like, what gets you fired up?
So did you transfer like in October timeframe? If you transferred in Jay Kinder timeframe?
Yeah. No. It was November, because it's like my birthday, like November 20th. I met with the guys the second time, and then I didn't officially transfer over until December, because I had a lot of relationships with my market center and my team leader, and I just wanted to give them the courtesy. Like, it was nothing that they did or could have done differently, honestly. Like, this is just a better business model, in my opinion, and I am a risk taker, and I guess I'd rather, like, just jump all in and figure it out.
Yeah.
So it was like December, and then January 1 was like our official start date.
So November 1st is when we transferred over, and I mean, I was excited. I was drinking the Kool-Aid more than you, trust. And it's a great company,
Yeah.
but the level of excitement that I've had being with eXp is probably I can't explain it. It's like when you leave family reunion and you're all pumped up and you're excited. That for the last 5 months. I mean, you come in and you're all excited, and then you're at a 10, and then you get all these people coming, and then you might go down to a 9, and guess what? The stock goes up $2, and you get all excited. You go back to a 10, and then you naturally want to go down to a 9, and then guess what? You got 2 or 3, 4 agents coming over, and I mean, for the last what have we been at? 4 months now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little over 4 months. It's been exciting. It's been very exciting just being part of this company, because when we joined, we were at like 5,500 agents. We've grown 3,000 agents in the last 4 months. It's never been done in the real estate history. So, I mean, the growth, it's just exciting. I mean, the level of excitement in this company and talking to the other agents that are all happy it's unbelievable. So it's been very, very exciting is probably the best word I could put on, and having fun with this company has been basically how it is.
Awesome. So how many agents are in North Dakota?
Right around 3,000 is what I figured.
3,000 in North Dakota?
Yeah. So eXp Realty, or are you talking about all of the agents in North Dakota?
Yeah, just in your state, you have 3,000 with eXp?
No, at Fargo, we got right around 800. eXp, well, we got 34 in eXp right now.
Oh, just eXp. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're at 34. We just onboarded. We sent 4 licenses, so we'll be at like 36, I think. 36 by then, whatever. We'll be at 36 by the end of the week.
Is that like the Fargo area, or is it kind of all over North Dakota? Are you having people reach out to you?
Yeah, we're all over. I think the first week we had someone from across the state call me and say, "Hey, I've been waiting for eXp to come on.
Yeah.
I've been watching the videos for the last 6 months, and it's finally here. I want to join." They had no idea who she was. She came over. Another top agent in town here said, "I watched the video, Derek. I'm coming over." He brought 4 people with him. One of those people brought someone from Jamestown. So we're in Fargo, Jamestown, Bismarck, and we just opened up in Williston too. So we'll be
Oh, wow.
onboarding an agent. I think tomorrow maybe. I think our license got sent in on Monday. So
Crazy. So
so
all
four
over the
markets
state.
in four markets in 4 months. That's not bad.
No, not at all. Yeah, and that's another thing. I remember like it took us a long time to get a capper to move over to like our market center. And it's like these cappers like that produce a ton of business are just like, okay, I see it, boom, done. I mean, some of them are a little bit more methodical, but the ones that get it, they get it right away and they're jumping on board because I think they have such a business mindset where they might have owned their own franchise or they might have had their own, independent brokerage too. And they can't provide the same level of service and tools and like opportunity for their agents. And so if if they remove themselves out of that, like, and come from a place of contribution, coming over to eXp is the best decision, I believe. Like if I were to have my own brokerage, you don't have a huge startup cost. When you think about how much does it cost to start up a market center?
Oh, geez.
I think it's 250,000 is what they said. I heard.
I ran through the financials. I mean, I went through everything, and I mean, they're paying $25,000 a month in rent. 25 grand. That's $300,000 a year.
Yep.
And they were paying. You think of the salaries. What was it? 290,000 in salaries, something like that. So they're basically spending $600,000 in. When you think, okay, so never mind, let me rewind here. 300,000 in brick and mortar, and then you have the team leader salary, you got the assistant team leader, you got the receptionist, you got the satellite team leader. When you figure out all those salaries, that's close to what, $250,000. So when you really think of it, that company's spending $500,000 to $550,000 a year to essentially recruit and retain agents. That's their sole job. That's what an office does. That's what those salaries do. $500,000, and guess where all that money's coming from? The agents.
The cappers, yeah. Yep.
And I remember just looking at it, and I'm like, as I was looking at the monthly ads, and they're saying, well, we added 9 agents this month, and I'm like, well, this one came because of that agent, this one came from that agent, this one came from that agent, and I'm like, why don't we just give a commission to the agents that are bringing these people on? Because that's what's growing the company. And he's like, we can't do it. It's out of model. It's a franchise. We got to follow their model. And and when I looked at it, that was before I even learned about eXp. And I learned about eXp. I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes perfect sense. We don't have $500,000 in expenses to recruit and retain agents. We just take that money and give it back to the agents in the form of revenue share and stock ownership, grow this company together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? Because I've heard this before on like revenue share is not sustainable.
Well, I think they're spreading that one quite a bit, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, that was the first one, and I'm like, well, of course, and then I heard like another video that I was watching. He's like, if you're talking to somebody about eXp, don't go back to your broker, and ask questions, because of course they're going to tell you, no, it's not a good idea. They're going to try and poke holes through it because they want to keep you at the office. And I'm like, wow, that's the first thing that I did,
So anyone that can do 4th grade math can figure this one out. The thing that bothers me is fear is a great motivator. So when you scare people, it motivates them. But anyone that can do math, 4th grade math, will figure out that this is a sustainable company. Basically, what they're finding out, Gene Frederick said, only 5% of the company has more than 5% or more than 5 people personally recruited. So that means 95% of the company is giving most of their money to the company to help it grow. So basically what they did is, I think the biggest thing is, so anyone that can do math can figure it out. What the agents can't wrap their head around is we don't have $300,000 for brick and mortar. We don't have $250,000 in salaries for people to recruit and retain agents. We don't have that $500,000 in salaries for expenses. They just can't wrap their head around how can they afford to be paying these agents $50,000 off the top. They just can't wrap their head around it. Anyone that can do math on this, and you look at our books, we have no debt. We have no short-term, long-term debt. We've been cash flow positive from the very beginning. And I mean, I'm just like, if you think of all the money we're saving, no brick and mortar, no phone systems, no internet, no salaries to help the company grow. We're growing through agents. We all own it. They just can't wrap their head around it because it's just so much money that they're giving back to those salaries in brick and mortar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then you have to think too, as agents are moving, and I mean, it's not just, I mean, you and I both came from Keller, and I feel like Keller agents might see it a little quicker just because, one of the things that they would say, other agents in my market would say about Keller would be, oh, it's network marketing or it's an MLM because of the profit share, and that's kind of what Keller is saying now. But, from the profit share standpoint, as the agents are moving over, they're losing profit. What profit is there going to be to share? I know there's market centers that just get up and started that don't have anything. They don't have anything to share if they're not profitable, if they can't pay their, $500,000 light bill and building and all that kind of stuff. And, we are kind of coming into a shift. I know Gary Keller has been talking about that since I moved over in 2015, 16. And, we're starting to kind of feel it in our market as far as we're just right at the top of our price point. And with interest rates rising, that price is going to have to stabilize. And in that shift, we're going to see agents move, and they're going to want to see what is the best opportunity for them on, there's a loyalty to your market center or, your broker, but I mean, your main loyalty has to be to your family, and you have to remove that emotion and look at it as a business decision and like keep your eyes open. We can't go in it with our blinders on. You really have to look at the big picture and say, all right, is this a good fit? So I think
and Gary Keller's a genius. I love reading his book. Great visionary. When you look at the growth, I mean, this is kind of how I see it. And I heard something from Glenn Sanford. He's a great visionary too. Back in the shift, are you hearing an echo?
Nope.
Okay. Back in the shift, Keller grew during the shift because the first thing that happened was the agents weren't making any money. And when they weren't making any money, they were forced to start looking at their expenses. Because I find out most real estate agents are not good business people. Let's just face it. They don't look at their numbers. And they looked at their numbers and they go, geez, I'm paying a 60-40 split to my company. I'm paying a 70-30. Geez, I got a desk fee of $1,200 a month. I can't afford this. I can't afford to give 40% of my commissions. And Keller attracted a lot of those people because they had the capping structure, and they had the capping structure. So those top agents came because they could, get the 100%. And the people with high desk fees, they came because they couldn't afford that $1,000 a month anymore. So when the next shift happens, agents are going to do the same thing. They're going to say, geez, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And when I look at where the puck is going, I am like, if eXp is growing this quick in a great real estate market, I am very excited to see how much eXp is going to grow in the next shift. I mean, if we're growing at 190%, I mean, if we have a shift, we're going to be growing at 200 to 300%. Yeah. And it's gonna really explode. And the cool thing is we're on the ground floor. We're less than 8,000. I mean, this company's going to 200,000 agents. Gene Frederick said there's not a doubt in and everything he said, by the way, has been true. There's not a doubt in my mind we're gonna have 200,000. We're gonna be the largest brokerage in 5 years. And being this company and seeing it, I believe in it. I mean, I 100% believe with the culture, the customer service, the business model. I believe in it. And we're just so excited to be on the ground.
Yeah, I know, me too. I mean, of course, we only have like 60 or 70 agents here in Minnesota, and we're just kind of all over the place, so we're the first ones in my area in the Northwest Metro. And there's some growing pains that we're going to go through, just like learning the process, the onboarding and all that kind of stuff. But every time, like you said, every time you go into the world and ask a question, like, boom, you got it. And actually in the beginning, we were so used to like emailing or calling, and we're like, why aren't they getting back to us? And I'm like, all right, here's the deal. We're just going to have to go in the world. Like, that's how you're going to get the answer. And, at first it's weird. It's awkward. Like my new assistant, she was like, oh my God, I just walked into somebody. It was so funny. But I mean, it's genius. And then you can get in there and I'm even learning how to use more of like the like this, doing the webinars and having those masterminds and conversations and coaching calls and all that kind of stuff, just utilizing it to our advantage, because like you're saving so much more time and energy and you can accomplish the same thing. Why do I need to drive 30 minutes to have a meeting with people and then you get sidetracked? Like it's just more efficient and you can get more done too. And I think one,
sorry, yeah, I would add on that the national training. I would have to drive down to the cities to do Bold and drop $800 or go drive down to Texas or fly down to Texas and drop 2 days and $2,000, do this training seminar. And I'm just finding they do that exact training on the cloud. So you can sit there and mastermind with some of the top agents every single week from your house. And the content's about the same. Obviously, face-to-face is the best form of communication, but I'm like, if I can have 95% of that and do it from my house and save $2,000 in 2 days, I'll take that any day.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like we do have like 25 to 30 hours in the cloud of the training, and some of it's the same like structure every single week, but even the masterminds and the leadership meetings and stuff like that, we do have that same kind of feel, that same culture that I was used to at my previous market center. So it's cool. I'm excited. So is there anything else that you'd like to add, or advice, or agents that are on the fence about eXp?
I mean, it's do your due diligence, just ask agents that are with the company. I mean, it's a new company. Knowing what I know, I got friends that are out there and they're still with the other companies. And I'm like, guys, I'm like, guys, how do you not get this? Like, just like, look at it. Look at what's happening with the stock. Look at the agents we're attracting. Look at the growth we're having. We're on the ground floor, but at the end of the day, what I realized, it's their decision. You can't make someone do something. I saw, they talk about, you got the early adapters and then you got the early innovators. It's just a matter of time of when people come. Business people usually they'll take calculated risk. And I look at the upside potential and I look at the downside potential. And I looked at the downside potential. I'm like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And, let's just say, worst case, the company doesn't work or whatever. I look at that and I say, well, I don't think that's going to happen. It's like less than 1% that's it's not going to work. But I look at the upside potential. But if I look at the downside, I'm still saving money from my caps. I'm still getting conversion for free. I still will get stock. It's still all going to be there. All those things are there. But then you look at the upside potential. Geez, the caps, we're saving money on the caps. We're saving money from conversion. We're getting all this stock option. And guess what? We're growing this company too. I mean, so the upside potential could be $1 million plus. I mean, it could be a $5 million deal if you really took advantage of it. And it depends on how much you want to apply yourself. So downside, you know what? I wasted a year or two of my life. The upside is there's no other company that can offer you anything like this. And and that's what you just got to look at the risk. And after being with this company, I mean, making a switch, it's scary. I mean, we get comfortable. We got great friends. We got great relationships. But when you make the switch, it's a little bit, it's hard. It's hard on people to make a change. And that's why we're seeing these business people come. And it's only a matter of time. Once we get to 20, 30,000 agents, or you're almost number one in the market, these agents will come over too. And it's just the cycle of business. People will come as you get bigger and you prove yourself. And what people are they're looking from the outside in, saying, Jesus, this company, they're waiting for us to fail. And we're not going to. We just keep on growing. And as we grow and as we keep on attracting top agents, we're going to keep on attracting more agents on top of that. So I'm not worried about it. And it is just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. And when are we going to be number one in the nation? My guess is about 4.5 years is where it's going to be.
It's crazy. And how long did it take Keller?
and Keller, I don't know. How long did it take them? Well, they 83, so 25 years. Is that right? You said something earlier. That's when I realized that this was the company attracting cappers at our old company. Like I was there for 4.5 years. We probably attracted, I don't know, 5 cappers, give or take. And those, like, we didn't get cappers. We had to get new agents and build them
Build
up.
them up. Yep.
And like we just didn't get cappers. And we got a couple, and the ones we got, great agents in the town here.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, it was whining and dining them for years. I mean, it was 1 or 2 years of taking them to this seminar, taking them to this training class, taking them to that, taking them everywhere.
Yeah.
And, we'd get them eventually, but it'd be a year to 2 years to get them.
Mhm.
When you come over to a company and it's new, and one of the top agents comes over, he's like, hey, I watched the video. I want to meet up with you. Got a couple questions, and I'm probably going to transfer the next week. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And that's every single story. They watch the video, they get it, and they say, I'm coming. And, and just for that is so powerful. That is so powerful.
Yeah. It's growing, so I'm super excited. I really appreciate you taking the time, Derek, to, I know you had a super busy morning, you have a super busy day, and I appreciate you taking the time to do the interview and learn a little bit more about your business, and I hope I can meet you in person. I don't know if you're going to Las Vegas in April,
Yep,
but
I will be.
I'll be there, so hopefully we can hook up and connect, and I'm excited to, meet everybody else that I've met as an avatar and meet them in real life. So
No,
yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then, if you guys have questions about eXp, if you're in Derek's Market Center, reach out to him, or area, reach out to him. If you're, one of my friends, reach out to me. And I'm actually going to be putting on a webinar about just eXp and the business and stuff on Friday. So if you guys have any interest in that, I can send you the private link, and look forward to just chatting with more people. And thanks so much, Derek.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yep, we'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
Bye.